Jet up! It's time for Jet's Army TV with DJ CHEF and Crazy Chrissy.
White and green, white and green, white and green. Yeah, you know what it is. Every time we play to win. Yeah, screaming.
Jets, 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 Jets. Hey, it's alright.
Welcome to Jet's Army TV season finale. DJ CHEF Crazy Chrissy.
What's up?
And our special co-host today, Mr. Wesley Walker.
No, I'm with the co-host.
Glad we fixed that up. Thank you for being with us, Wesley.
Thank you for having me.
We're honored to be here.
Yeah, my boy Bobby Jackson.
I know. He was amazing. Watched the last game with us.
And I have to tell you, and a lot of people don't really know this. Everybody always asks me the toughest guy I ever faced. Played against. And I told you the first time we did the show, my teammates were the toughest I've ever gone against. And they prepared me every week, so I didn't have anything to worry about, as far as my opponents.
So you probably going
Bobby
against
Johnson was the best, and he didn't get the accolades he really deserved. And it's a shame when the team that we did have, because, I'm looking at this team they had and the type of players that we have.
Right.
You mentioned Joe Glecko, Martin Gasson, Al Toon, and
Bruce Harper.
I think of the guys, and Bruce Harper. Oh, I can't think this. He's like my godson, godfather, my son.
We met him.
And he's just tremendous players. And because we didn't win, we didn't ever got the accolades. And if you get to the Super Bowls, and I'm not downgrading certain players, like I think of Lynn Swann. My numbers are just as good as Lynn Swann's, maybe even better. And I didn't get the opportunities he got, but they won Super Bowl. So you don't get the accolades, you don't get the promotions. And Bobby fell into that category, and he was like the Darrell Revis. He was a shutdown corner. Nobody would throw to his sides. He'd lead our team in interceptions, but he never got the publicity he really deserved. And so I have to give that.
Well, we're going to give it to him right now.
Yeah.
Jackson, you're the man.
Number 40, that's my boy.
He was one of the nicest people I've ever met. I love that guy.
All right, so
You just don't know him. Like I do. No, I'm
You talk very
I
highly.
love it. That's my boy. All right. That's my boy.
So you watched the last game.
Buffalo Bills.
Yes. Very disappointed.
Yeah.
But it's nothing that I'm not used to.
Right. As a Jets fan, you
I
got
have to be positive. I have a great deal of respect for Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
And if you look at the season compared to last season, they did very well.
Numbers.
They have
Numbers.
Yeah.
some players. Brandon Marshall is one of the best receivers in the National Football League. He is a beast.
Absolutely.
Having Decker on the other side.
Right, my man.
He is. I have nothing but respect for him, and sometimes you don't get the respect you really deserve.
Right.
The biggest problem when you go into a season with any team is injuries.
Yeah.
And so that affected the Jets in the beginning.
Right.
Guys have to keep themselves healthy, and you don't want to run into personal problems like Sheldon Richardson, who's very prominent in his own right, but that hurt him and it hurts the team. But they weren't consistent. I felt that the quarterback play was a lot better compared to last year. Geno Smith obviously has a lot of talent, has the tools, but he made a lot of turnovers. But he didn't have the players that Fitzpatrick had.
Exactly.
Some of the problems I had.
Just kind of threw him in.
Yeah, and as great as Fitzpatrick played, he's been with a lot of different teams. I was always just not real confident, and I'd get my girlfriend would get very mad at me because I'm like, even this last game, he'll throw an interception. He would get balls batted down, but he had probably his best year ever. He had the talent around him, and I'm not that confident in him where he can take this team over the top, but it has to. Things have to click in place, and so I was disappointed with some of the play there at the quarterback position at times, but the defense was really a disappointment. They didn't really get the pass rush that I thought they were going to have this year, and I know Sheldon Richardson had his personal problems in the beginning, but I expected more. And they were very inconsistent after the New England game, and watching the Raider game was just so disappointing. And so they have to get better as a unit, and Todd Bowles will be the first person to tell you that there are going to be changes, there are going to be new people there, and it's going to be a whole different situation. But once you get into the playoffs and you get that opportunity, and you think of Brandon Marshall, the 10 years that he's played this game, and the play, Fitzpatrick being in this long
Right.
and never being in the playoffs, and they
Yeah.
didn't get there
I
this
know,
year.
I feel bad.
And that's what you forget.
He played his first game ever.
Yeah, I look at my
That's
career.
right.
I had a chance to be in the playoffs, you know, several times, but you never quite get there. You just don't know when that opportunity is going to be there again, and you have to take advantage of it. And I think they're building something, and I
Yeah.
think Todd Bowles will get them there. They just have to put some, you know, some pieces together. And I think they
Right.
will get there, but it's going to be a different team. But hopefully they will get there, and it won't be a disappointment.
Do you
like
think
this
they
year.
should keep Fitz as the quarterback for next
I
season?
don't think they
or-
have a choice because you just can't come in and a lot of it's just so different. Not a lot of guys come in and make a difference. And
Right.
at that quarterback situation, especially when you draft a player, you want him to come in and play.
Right.
They have this Bryce Petty. He has all the tools. He's still in a learning situation. I have a great deal of respect for Geno Smith. Whether he has a personality, and that's been a big question mark with his teammates, but I watched him in training camp, and I'm like, this guy just needs a chance. He'll have the tools
So you
with
think-
Brandon Marshall and Decker, and then he gets the punch in the jaw, and that blows his season. So I wanted to get the equal start and the chance. And any athlete that plays this game, you want to get the same opportunity. He hasn't been given that, and that's what I look at. But between Fitzpatrick, Bryce Petty,
Right.
and Geno, that's a fine competition, but I'm not so sure that they wouldn't look at a quarterback if there was an opportunity for them
Well, they
to
were
actually
talking
draft.
about Drew Brees and who's
but-
the other guy? Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, those
They
are
were-
long.
if
Those
those
are like
guys
pipe
become
dreams. I
available.
think. I don't think
Yeah.
Breeze is going to be available, and
Yeah.
Kaepernick's not the guy. But you know, I think a secondary backup may be the way to go. I don't know about you.
I know. I see. I
A
don't.
lot of
I'm
people don't have
not
that.
understanding with Rex Ryan that they had last season and now Todd Bowles. What do you think the difference is, or who's better?
Different styles.
Differences. What I like, they're both players, coaches.
Right.
Different styles. Rex is more the flamboyant. He likes to joke.
He has a foot fetish.
A lot of fans probably don't even know about it. Bowles is a very on-hand, no nonsense.
No nonsense.
And when you listen to him, he
Yeah,
takes the
that's
mold of a Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick and
Yeah.
the personality.
I
But
like that.
he's no nonsense, but the guys still love him. And
Yeah.
I respect him because he's welcomed us back. He
Yeah.
had an stint with the Jets. He's from Elizabeth, New Jersey, from this area, and he has a history with the Jets, and I really welcome that. But I look at the coach, how the players respond to them, and the Jets, obviously, they responded to Rex at a certain time until certain
Right.
things started to happen. And they obviously have a great deal of respect for Bowles, and which I do, and he's turned his team around.
You
If
think
you look
he
from last year and where they are now, totally
180.
turning.
That's
180.
true.
180.
But he's gonna make a lot of bad calls in that last game.
Well,
Some
you're
days
gonna
I'm looking
you're gonna
coach,
find
Yeah.
that with any coach, whether
Yeah.
it's a clock management or certain calls that you do make, and you have to understand too, it's a team effort. He just
That's
doesn't
true.
do this by himself. Whether it's something from upstairs or they
Right.
make a call, a challenge to play, it's all together. You don't know who makes that final call. He's the
That's
final
true.
judgment, but it's all within that organization and team-wise. So it's not just on him.
I think some people got let go the next day, right after the game.
Well, special teams was definitely an issue for us, and yeah, they stepped right up on.
Well, I hope that's addressed, and I wouldn't mind having Mike Westhoff back. I listen to him once in a while.
Yeah.
I love the show, and you listen to Ray Lucas and Westhoff, and they don't pull any punches, and you have to like that. But I am definitely positive that they're going in the right direction.
Me too.
And I used to tell my girl, she's a big Arizona Cardinals fan, and I thought they would have went to the Super Bowl with him being the Cardinals coach
Right.
if they had a quarterback. And they had the quarterback, and now they may be in the Super Bowl
Yeah.
with Palmer. And that's a big thing. Injuries plays a big part, but I think the Jets are going in the proper
do too.
I
direction.
got that special feeling with this team, like I haven't had for a long time, like with your team. Do you see any similarities in your team, you know, that magic you had in the 80s with this team that we have presently?
Well,
I
I
kind of
don't-
have that feeling,
You know,
that
I don't
tingly
look
feeling.
at I don't look at particular players, but you look at the fact that because Geno Smith made a lot of mistakes by himself, but he didn't have people surround him.
Yeah.
I look at Brandon Marshall and Decker, Al Toon and myself, and we had even Lamb Jones, who really didn't materialize, but was a hell of an athlete.
Fast.
We had Bruce Harper, we had Freeman McNeil, and they have Bilal Powell. You look at Chris Ivory. They have a multitude of guys. if
Every
you get it
position,
done, you know.
yeah, every position.
But you got to keep guys healthy, but the one thing that really matters is when you're on all cylinders. I remember in '86 we were 10-1, and defense was clicking, offense, and they have that type of team.
Yeah,
But when you start getting
on the
injuries,
sideline,
yeah,
talking.
but when the injuries occur,
Yeah.
and I don't care if it's
Yeah.
defense, certain things start to happen. I had like 12 touchdowns with 5 games going. I'm thinking I'm getting the record that's random tied right now.
I saw that
And
game,
they
4
stopped-
touchdowns, Miami
You know,
Dolphins.
But here I had 12 touchdowns with 5 games going, and
I
you
remember,
didn't get
yeah.
there. And it cost me. And there are things that have to happen from a situational standpoint, and you just don't get those opportunities. So you got to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully the guys will learn that.
Yeah, because
And
they
they know where
definitely
they've
did not
been.
take
This
the
was a learning
opportunities
situation
last
for a lot of people. And you sit in that locker room when you're there, not there, because you plan to go to the Super Bowl, and when you
Yeah.
go to playoffs, and you're there, things you're going to go, and then all of a sudden it's taken away from you, and
Yeah.
you're not there. You remember that, and so hopefully the guys will take that into next season.
I definitely think there's chemistry
For
between
sure.
Marshall, Decker, and Fitz. Like, I love the chemistry between
100%.
those guys.
Well, I don't care who's back there throwing the ball, but those
Yeah.
2 guys,
Yeah,
any quarterback wants that situation.
absolutely.
All
But
right.
listen,
We're out of
Wesley, it was
time.
awesome having
Yeah.
you here. I wish we could just stay all night and eat your brownies that you're
No, I'm talking
lovely
about the
Walker's
brownies.
making.
I can do the ice cream, but I can't do the brownies, you know. And DJ, the steak, and the
Yeah.
mashed
I know.
potatoes, and
Shoot,
you
I'm
come
in.
over anytime, bro.
Can I move
This is a
in?
good
Can I
thing.
move
We
in,
couldn't ask for a
Hey,
better
happy
season
birthday.
finale here on Jets
Crazy
on
Chrissy,
TV.
move in.
Yeah, we had a nice little finale party
Yeah.
here at Wesley Walker's house. Once again, I want to thank
That's right.
hospitality.
Thank you.
Barber's house.
Barber's house. I can't wait for next season.
What's magical year? We'll be back draft day.
Draft day, yeah. They
We'll
go
be back
on to a
covering
West.
events here.
White and green, 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 white and green.